What's up, Bassketeers? Josh Fossgreen here, and we're going to continue working on our improvising and soloing in today's lesson. You're welcome to start with this video. You don't need to start at the beginning of the series, but I think you will benefit from all of these videos where we're exploring different aspects of your playing to try to make unconscious habits more conscious so that you can make more free creative decisions. Okay? So we're going to continue with our funk groove, G minor using a G Dorian scale. Forget about it. Just keeping it simple harmonically so we can focus on other things. So however you're comfortable with the G Dorian scale. Today we're focusing on your rhythm choices and syncopation. Let me try to demonstrate the problem that I see with most people's improvising in this regard. Okay, here I go. Okay, I can't stand it anymore. So, what are you noticing about my rhythm consistently in that whole solo? Anybody? Bueller? 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 Yes, you in the back. I always started my phrases on the beat. Every single phrase started on the beat, okay? And this is my first time actually trying to do that in a long time, and I found it really painful. I was actually out hearing a jazz quartet the other night, and the bass player took solos on most of the tunes. It was just kind of a casual gig, so everyone would go around and take a solo. Every bass solo, most if not all the phrases started on the beat, and I just felt so uncomfortable, and I just wished that this guy would ask me to teach a lesson with him or something, so I could be like, dude, you're starting all your phrases on the beat. There's a word for what it sounds like when you do that, and that word is square. Okay, especially in this kind of funk, pseudo hip hop context, playing on the beat all the time is not cool. So what we want to do together, rather than just call people names and laugh about it, is give you some tools to stop doing that. So exercise number 1. Let's just think in terms of eighth notes. So here's the quarter note. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2. So here's the eighth note pulse. 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's just play some offbeat eighth notes together on a G, on the 12th fret of the G string. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And join me if you haven't already. And 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so that's just 8th note syncopation. I don't even know if we'll get to 16th note syncopation at this point. I want you to try an exercise now. You're only allowed to start a phrase on the and of the beat, okay? So I'll demonstrate a little bit. 1 and 2 and. And 2 and 3 and. Okay, now you try that. 3, 4. Doesn't matter what notes you play, just stick in the G Dorian scale. Coming in on the and of the beat, okay? The offbeat 8th note. 1 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. A couple more bars. Okay, you feel that? So my hypothesis is that the reason people tend to play on the beat too much is because syncopating feels uncomfortable if you're not used to it, because it's a tension rhythmically. Because here's the pulse, and then syncopation is contrary to that pulse in a way. So it's you know, if you think in terms of notes, if I were to play, those notes, that creates a lot of tension harmonically. Okay, I'm playing an A flat on a G minor to B flat major chord progression. It's a tense note to play. Similarly, you can create tension with rhythm, and that's what syncopation tends to do, especially if we get into more syncopated, like 16th notes. It really wants to resolve to a note on the beat, just like notes want to resolve to other notes, rhythms want to resolve to more pulse-centric rhythms, okay? So that's why it sounds square to play on the beat all the time, because there's no tension there. So it's just this flaccid, constant resolution. There's no drive to it. You need cycles of tension resolution for music to be interesting. So it's not that you always have to play off the beat, it's that you want to have the freedom to do that, and practicing using syncopation is really important because you just get the feel of what it feels like to create a little bit of rhythmic tension. So if taking that to the 8th note level is where you're at for now, that's great. That's a great place to start. You also want to get comfortable with 16th note syncopation, okay? And this groove is a little tricky to do that with if that's new to you, because the 16th notes are swung, first of all, and they're also a little sloppy on purpose. This is my best attempt without taking a whole class on hip-hop production of how to make a kind of post-Dilla, funky, weird feeling beat. So the 16th notes, 1 E-N, a 2 E-N, a 3 E-N, a 4 E-N, a 1 E-N, a 2 E-N, a 3 E-N, a 4 E-N, in this case are not even. If you feel up to it, try just playing some offbeat 16ths with me on a G, okay? 3 E-N, a 4 E-N, a 1 E-N, a 2 E-N. Now play one on the beat. I almost played the wrong note there, but if I hadn't played the wrong note, you feel that release when you're like, boom, boom. You get back on that one. It's very satisfying release of tension. Okay, so just being comfortable with creating a little bit of rhythmic tension might help you with the syncopation thing. Just to summarize what we've talked about so far, basically what you want to do is be comfortable coming in on any 16th note in the bar, okay? Whether it's 1, 2 E, 3 and 4 E and a 1 E, 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and a. Just any 16th note in there, you want to be comfortable finding that in the pulse and starting a phrase there. So that's something that you can spend a lot of time on, like maybe some years of time. I know nobody wants it to take time to practice things, and you just want to watch a video and be magically better. And hopefully you'll feel a little bit magically better from watching this video, but getting comfortable playing anywhere in the bar really does take some work. Period, end of sentence. Last thing I want to show you in this video is another way you can play with rhythmic tension is to actually go a little bit out of time sometimes. This is something you probably don't want to do when you're playing like bass, but when you're soloing or whatever, you have a little bit more rhythmic freedom. So let me demonstrate what I'm talking about. So maybe I've taken what we've learned so far and I'm incorporating different 16th note syncopations and triplets and stuff, but I'm still feeling a little limited. Another thing I can do is just play whatever rhythm I want to. And then I go back in the pulse. So I'm creating tension by just going off in my own little rhythmic world that's not necessarily subdivided in any mathematical way. But then I go right back into the 16th note triplet pulse, just stuff that's actually mathematically makes rhythmic sense. Let me try to demo that again. So I'll start in the pulse. start going outside of the pulse. Then I'm back in. Then I'm kind of out. Then I'm back in. Okay, and that's sort of an extreme example. I could do that just for a beat or two and create a little tension that way. Play with that a little bit. G Dorian. It doesn't have to be quite as fast, notey as that last thing I played was. Just kind of like screw the pulse. Just imagine you're like playing a smooth jazz soprano saxophone and you don't care about the rhythm. You're just like expressing yourself with big free notes, whatever time you feel like putting them in, and then come back into the pulse. I'll give you a few more bars of that. Yeah. So just whatever you do, if you go out of the pulse, come back into it, because that's the point at which the listener knows, oh, they meant to do that. That's pretty cool. Otherwise, it sounds like you're not listening to the band. So use judiciously. Great work today. So let's wrap up rhythm and syncopation ideas for improving your improvising and soloing. Number one is get comfortable with basic syncopation. Eighth note syncopation is your starting point, and then move on to the 16th note, E's and U's, okay? 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and You want to feel just at home, just as at home on the E's and the U's as you do on the beat, okay? That's gonna open up so many rhythmic options. And number two is you can play with creating tension resolution cycles by going out of the pulse, just playing whatever the hell non-mathematical rhythm you want to, and then come back into the pulse, and it'll sound like, wow, that person is so brave and daring. They left the pulse, but then they came back and played it accurately again, so I know they did it on purpose. Okay, I hope this has been helpful. I think a lot of you bass soloists out there could use some of these syncopation tips, because I hear some very square on the beat playing out there, young people. Okay, so thank you for watching. If you'd like to support me in continuing to make these videos, check out my Patreon page where you can get cool rewards, including an extended audio play along of this funk groove we're jamming over in these videos and other cool stuff. You can also buy my books at joshfossgreen.com/books. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again soon on the next exciting episode. Be well.